मे तयो श्रुत्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। Revered senior monks, respected brother monks and brahmacharis, respected nuns and brahmacharinis, and dear friends, it is really a pleasure and a privilege to be the last speaker at this special convention, because it announces that our confrontation with this sweltering heat and morbid humidity is almost about to end. And again, you have had some wonderful discussions and deliberations going on since yesterday morning. Much of what has to be said has been said. Hardly anything remains to be said. As the scriptures say, na kinchid avashishyate. Nonetheless, I shall try to speak on two, and if time permits, on three specific issues. The first relates to our monastic numbers. In a letter written to his Guru Bhais in 1894, Swamiji says, "We want some disciples, fiery young men, intelligent and brave, who would dare to go to the jaws of death, who are able to swim across the oceans. We want hundreds like this. Do you follow me? We want hundreds like this, both men and women. Make converts right and left and put them into a purity drilling machine. We want 2,000, nay 10,000, even 20,000 sannyasins. Make converts at any risk," Swamiji says. He emphasizes, not householder disciples, mind you, we want sannyasins. Now, this was written by Swamiji in 1894. We are now in the year 2014. 120 years have elapsed. The Ramakrishna Sangha, the Ramakrishna Mutt, has about 1,700 monastic members. I am not sure what is the strength of the Sharada Mutt. In any case, both together would be just about coming to Swamiji's lowest rung of 2,000. This is not a very happy development. In this connection, I remember one very old incident that happened on these very Velurbar grounds at this very site. That was the occasion of a public meeting held in the afternoon, maybe on the Tithi Pujas of either Thakur or Ma or Swamiji. Most of you heard President Maharaj, Swami Atmasthanandaji. He was then the General Secretary of the Order. He was presiding over the meeting. In the course of his talk, Maharaj was mentioning, "We receive letters from devotee groups regularly. Please open a center here. Please start a school here. Please start one hospital here." And Maharaj said, "Very well. You will give us the land, you will give us the money. That's very fine. But what about the monastic members? From where do we get the monastic members to run these institutions?" And then Maharaj posed a question to the audience. About 1,000 or 1,500 ladies must have been sitting on this side of the audience then. Maharaj posed a question to them. "Well, you are so many ladies sitting here. Please tell me, how many of you are willing to sacrifice one child from your family to come and join the Ramakrishna Mutt? Please raise your hand, whoever is willing." And if my memory serves me correctly, not a single hand went up. That's the idea of monastic life in this country. In India today, all over the country today, we have 25 Bhava Prachar Parishads, which supervise the activities of about 1,000 member ashramas. And I presume that each member ashrama must be having the patronage of 50 or 100 families. If we can get young boys and girls from these families to come and join the Ramakrishna Mutt or the Sharada Mutt, we can get closer and closer to Swamiji's dream figures. And that indeed will be a glorious tribute to Swamiji. After all, the grand celebrations we've been having over the last 4 years in the context of his 150th birthday. That brings me to the second point that relates to the Sanskrit language. We all know in what high esteem Swamiji held Sanskrit, calling it the Deva Bhasha. He wanted us to study Sanskrit thoroughly so that we could have first-hand knowledge, a very good grip on the culture of this country. In this connection, it is very encouraging to note that recently in our parliament in New Delhi, in our parliament at the oath taking ceremony, some of our ministers opted to repeat the oath mantras, the oath text in Sanskrit. This is indeed very good. We also in the Bhava Prachar Parishads can do our own little bit in this connection. What can we do? As we know, in our half-yearly and annual conferences, some speaker or representative from the member ashrama comes and reads his center's report, his ashrama's report. That can be done either in English or in the local language. But we can insist that every speaker will read out at least one sentence of his report in Sanskrit. I would like to make some relevant observations in this Sanskrit connection. Interestingly, at the St. James Junior School in London, little school children learn the Sanskrit alphabet in Devanagari and they practice Vedic chanting. In France also, Sanskrit learning is part of the school curriculum from class 5 or 6 onwards. And India is not to be left far behind either. I will just quote one case. The case of Abdul Pandit. Yes, Abdul Pandit. His full name is Abdul Mannan Ghazi. He is about 37-38 years old, a young man. He runs a Sanskrit stall. It is called Panini Lokasabha Prachar Niketan. This is somewhere near Bashirhat, in a village near Bashirhat, in the vicinity of our Shikra Kulingaram Ashrama, the birthplace of Raja Maharaj, from Brahmanandaji Maharaj. Mind you, this Abdul Mannan Ghazi is a very devout Muslim and he follows the Holy Quran to the hilt. Most of the children who study in his stall are Muslims. They are even taught to speak in Sanskrit. All these are very encouraging signs, auspicious signs. There is no reason why we should not use this Bhava Prachar Parishad platform in this direction also. I think I have just about 2 more minutes to talk on the third topic, a very famous one, often discussed in this meeting also, Jagad Atmana Mokshatam Jagad Hitaya Cha. In Vivekananda's Vedanta, due emphasis is given to here and hereafter, religion and science, renunciation and service. From the West, Swamiji wrote in a letter to India, he says, I am going to India soon to see what I can do in that awful mass of conservative jellyfish and start something new. Simple, strong, new and fresh as a firstborn baby. And it was after this that he started the Ramakrishna Mission and the Ramakrishna Mutt. This Sangha is a mighty banyan tree which Sri Ramakrishna wanted his Naren to be. And Swamiji has given us the motto, Atmano Mokshartham Jagad Hitaya Cha. Of this, Atmano Mokshartham is traditional Vedanta. What Sri Ramakrishna says, the object of human birth is to realize God. This is true for all periods of time. It was true during the Vedic period. It was true during the time of the Puranas and Upanishads. It is true in our own times. It will be true for all time to come. It is like the Shruti portion of our Shastras, never changing. The Jagad Hita portion is like the Smriti portion. It will change depending on time and situation. And for our times, Ramakrishna Vivekananda have given the super mantra, the Maha Mantra, Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. This is practical Vedanta, or Vedanta as it should be practiced. This Shiva Jnana Jiva Seva is a unique gift of Ramakrishna Vivekananda to the world for spiritual regeneration. This is the Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam that the Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Through Atmano Mokshartham, we keep our firm grip on the timeless traditions of the most ancient spiritual culture of the world. We enter, and through Jagat Hita, service to humanity, we keep in touch with the time. We enter the problems of society and try to help, to serve the needy and helpless. All the time trying to bring on human life the impact of the spirit. Atmano Mokshartham gives us spiritual stability. Jagat Hita gives us humanitarian dynamism. Thank you for a patient hearing. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.